हे गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। वीडियो की टाइटल से आप समझ ही गए होंगे आज हम किस बारे में बात करना चाह रहे हैं। इस चीज़ के ऊपर, एक्चुअली इस टॉपिक के ऊपर मुझे कुछ टाइम से वीडियो बनानी थी, ऑब्वियसली जब हमारा लास्ट अनाउंसमेंट जब आया, बट आई हैड माई ओन क्वेश्चंस। मेरी खुद के कुछ क्वेश्चंस थे, कुछ क्वेरीज अभी भी हैं एक्चुअली, जिनकी प्रॉपर आंसर्स मेरे पास नहीं है, बट देर आर स्टिल सम थिंग्स जिसके ऊपर अब मुझे क्लैरिटी है। सो आई थॉट नाउ इज़ द बेस्ट टाइम टू मेक अ वीडियो ऑन दिस। ऑल्सो आई नो आप लोगों ने ऑलरेडी सुना होगा एंड बाकी वीडियोज़ देखी होंगी अबाउट दीज अनाउंसमेंट्स। द ओनली डिफरेंस इज मोस्ट ऑफ दीज creators fortunately are not impacted by these updates which came out recently. But unlike them, I am impacted. I'm impacted on few factors, and I know once there are more concrete updates on 1st of November that we have to look forward to, there will be even more changes that I would for sure definitely be impacted with. Start करते हैं, मैं किस बारे में बात कर रही हूँ. So basically back in September, our Immigration Minister Mark Miller came up with an announcement. It was a newsroom. These things are not yet concrete apart from few things that I'll talk about as we move forward in this video. So the very first thing is Canada is planning to decrease the number of temporary residents here from 6.5% of the total population to 5%, and they're planning to do it by 2026. So this is like the major change that Canada is planning. क्यों, क्या हो रहा है, इसके बारे में मैं बहुत डिटेल में बात कर सकते हैं. I have literally very strong opinions on few things that I can talk about. But अभी उस बारे में बात नहीं करते, हम आगे चलते हैं. पहले बात करते हैं exactly क्या क्या changes announce हुए हैं. They have started with tightening the eligibility criteria for international student study permits and the foreign workers reform. जो भी different programs आते हैं उनको लेके, they are gonna be more stricter going forward. And जब हम कह रहे हैं कि international study permit पे और भी ज़्यादा tightening और scrutiny होगी, that means they are planning to reduce the cap, basically जो अभी cap चल रहा है of giving out these study permits to 10% in 2025 that they have already started with. So they are planning to do a reduction from 4,85,000 to 4,37,000 in 2025, and they're going to maintain the same cap in 2026. Along with that, they're going to come up with post-graduation work permit reforms later in this year, I think around 1st of November, to basically align it more with their immigration goals and everything. The very first thing which you might have already heard about, अगर आप अप्लाई कर रहे हैं PGWP के लिए before 1st of November, you're not impacted, you don't have to do anything else. But if you're applying for PGWP after 1st of November 2024, and if you're eligible obviously after 1st of November, then you would have to give a language proficiency test. इसके बारे में I'll talk about in detail just in a second, but I just wanted to cover a few things before we go ahead with that. The third one is, which sort of impacts me in a way, but I'm not sure until they come out with actual announcement, is limiting the Spousal Open Work Permit. As you may already know, I'm here in Canada doing my master's from McMaster University in Computing and Software, and my husband is along with me, and he's here on Spousal Open Work Permit. So there are many things which are still unclear for me, but what they have written is that even if you're doing master's degree, your spouses won't be eligible for Spousal Open Work Permit if your master's degree is not of at least 16 months. I mean, your program should be of at least 16 months, otherwise your spouse won't get an open spousal work permit. There are so many things which are still very unclear to me, so hopefully when they come out with actual announcement on 1st of November, we'll be much more aware of things going around. But yeah, this is something which even master's students will be impacted for. इससे पहले जितने भी जो भी announcements हुए थे, in that the master's students, the PhD students, the doctoral, all these students, they were not impacted majorly. But now the new announcements which are coming up and the new changes which are coming up, I think हर कोई in a way or so are getting impacted. And now that we are talking about spouses, they're also going to limit the work permit for spouses of those people who are in these two sectors majorly, either management or professional sectors, or in sectors where there is a labor shortage. So for these two spousal related announcement, we don't have any concrete knowledge yet. They have not come up with the actual announcement, to be honest. So as we move forward, and hopefully, as I keep saying, I think on 1st of November we'll get more information around it and get concrete answers around it. Now coming forward to the main thing that I wanted to talk about, which is PGWP. As I stated earlier, that now the eligibility criteria for you to be even able to apply for PGWP is to first give a language proficiency test. Why I didn't make this video before is because of the same reason. I was unsure, like, okay, so if we have to give an English proficiency test, and say if I had to give IELTS, do I need to give IELTS general? Do I need to give IELTS academic? And what are these CLB scores? So CLB scores are basically Canadian language benchmarks, and so the government have come up with few of these benchmark scores that you should meet in order to be eligible to apply even for PGWP. So now let's go and talk in depth what they have came up with. They have given a recent announcement on 4th of October. So let's deep dive into it right away. So the very first point is for all the students who are going to apply for their study permit application before 1st of November and who are also going to apply for their PGWP on 1st of November or post that. So the very first thing is, if you're doing your bachelor's, master's or doctorals from university, then you have to give a language proficiency test and score CLB 7 in all 4 areas, in English and in French. And also if you're doing any other program from university, you still have to score CLB 7. But if you are doing any program from college which doesn't lie in all these 2 options above, then you have to get a minimum level of CLB 5 in all 4 areas. इससे ज़्यादा impact is for all the students who gonna apply for their study permit applications post 1st of November. So if you have already applied for your study permit before 1st of November, all good. But if you're gonna apply for your study permit application post 1st of November, then there are few more things with which you're gonna get impacted. If you're lying in the first category where you're doing bachelor's, master's or doctoral from a university, then you are not as such impacted. But if you're doing any other program from a university, or if you're doing any other study from a college, then along with the language proficiency test, you also need to meet the criteria of field of study requirement. What is that? So basically, the Canadian government have come up with, well, let me quickly check 5 more important field of study area. So if you are lying into these areas, you will be eligible to apply for study permit, or basically you'll get a study permit. And these areas are, as I can read it, agriculture and agriculture, food, healthcare, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, which is the STEM, trade and transport. These are the areas where there is a labor shortage, so they want people or students to apply in any of the courses or programs which align with these sectors. So if you're planning to apply for your study permit application post 1st of November, make sure your program or your courses align with these sectors, because these are the sectors where they can see long-term shortage. Now, the biggest concern that I have, if we have to give a language proficiency test, which test should we give? IELTS general, IELTS academic, I have no clue. But now they have given that clarity as well. So you can give either of these 3. You can give Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program, IELTS general or PTE core. So all these 3 you can give for English, and for French again you have TF Canada, TCF Canada. You can give any of these languages. So make sure if you're gonna apply for PGWP post 1st of November, you first give these. So I would say fatafat jaake take your dates and just give the exam. How I am impacted, to be honest, I'm not eligible for PGWP before 2025 because I'm still a master's student at McMaster University. I hope I get my completion letter maybe later in June or early Feb. So only then I can apply for PGWP. I cannot apply for PGWP before that. So in a way I have to, not in a way, to be honest, I have to apply for the English proficiency test. That's what I'm gonna give. I'm not fluent in French, so I have to give that this year, so that just in case once I receive my completion letter from my university, I can straight away apply for PGWP. Another thing for which I am really impacted, I will be impacted if they come out with any announcement which is related to spouses. My husband is a front-end developer here in Canada. If they come up with any other eligibility criteria for spouses, we may or may not be impacted. We have to see how it goes. I'll keep you posted for sure. And guys, to be honest, ये कभी ना कभी तो होना ही था. Like, I think it is high time that the Canadian government take proper actions to control the way immigration is done here in Canada. I am myself an immigrant, but you know how they say, like, if someone does something bad, the whole community gets bashed on it, and that's how I feel sometimes. And that's why you might be hearing a lot about, you know, hate against majorly Indians. I don't want to say it, but that's the truth. But yeah, I still feel it's like high time. And one thing which I have really strong opinion on, and I say it to everyone I know, like in my close relations and those who want to come to Canada for studies, is if you're planning to do study abroad, please make sure you chose a program or a course that you can see your future in, like where you can see yourself growing, where you can see that you can achieve something in your future, and not just take anything randomly just because you want to come here. It's not gonna help you. It's not gonna help anyone, to be honest. Usually, you know how we say that the grass is always greener on the other side? When you are not in Canada, you feel like, oh, everyone is going, I have to go too. Well, they are doing good, I will do good too. Maybe not, to be honest. And currently, no. For part-time job, there are so many students out here who maybe earlier on, like few years back, the situation was whole different. That was completely different. If you're spending so much of money on coming to Canada for studies, please ensure you take a course or a program at a reputed institute which will help you in future to grab a good job and make your career and do yourself proud and the country proud back at home and even in Canada. That's where I want to wrap it up. If you want to know anything, let me know. So yeah, that's all about it, guys. I hope I could give you some better idea around the latest updates and what are the changes, whom it's gonna impact, whom it's not gonna impact. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section below and we can talk about it further, and maybe we can set up a Q&A. And with that, thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. If you like this channel, please do not forget to subscribe to it. Hit the like button on this video, share it across with your friends and family. If you have any comments, please let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, guys, bye-bye.